house to control one of the switches just with our voice over the Google Home. So here's what they look like. My driveway lights, I wanted them to come on a little bit after sunset and turn off before sunrise. Hey everyone. So I've got this problem that I'm sure a lot of you may too. I've got these switches on the wall. This is the door. You come into the garage from inside the house. Garage door switches up there. And I've got the garage lights right here. First one, labeled garage, for the interior lights up there. And then this one here, I've got floodlights hooked up along with the Nest camera outside. So I put a little plastic cap over it. You can't touch it on accident, turn it off. This one here is the entrance lights, which is the ones above my head. And then this one is for the carriage lights that are outside, mounted on the outside of the house, right by the garage doors. They're the ones that sit right there. You see them? They're on right now. So they end up on a lot of times because the kids will come out here, or sometimes I'll come out here and accidentally hit this button, since it's right next to these. They'll end up on maybe for a day, maybe for a couple of days if it's during the week and we're not paying attention. And we almost never turn them on intentionally unless we have guests coming over or somebody's going to be on the driveway. And I always wanted to put a timer switch on here. I just don't like the old school ones because we've had them before. They don't work real well. And I found these light switches that are smart light switches. They work with Alexa and Google Home. We've got Google Home, and we have some other things that are automated with it. And you can set them up to turn on a schedule, and then you can also talk to your Google or your Alexa and manipulate whether it's on or off, etc. Let me show you what I've got here. It's this guy. I bought a 3-pack. I'm going to put 2 of them right here, one of them in the garage for the carriage lights outside. I'm going to put one of them by the front door for the column lights, and then one of them inside the house to control one of the switches just with our voice over the Google Home, so we can turn the lights on and off for a particular area of the house whenever we want to. And you can control them manually, on or off, and then you can also tie them into your smart home system, whether it's Alexa or Google, and work it with those, and also set a schedule. So I'm going to install one, let you know how it goes, show you how the installation is, and we'll go from there. So here's what they look like. You've got a little bit of haptic feedback. I don't know if you can hear that on the video. That's probably for the manual on-off. And let me try to pull one out here. You've got a few wires here. Let's walk through what they are. So the yellow with the green stripe, that's your ground wire. The white wire is your neutral in, so you've got to have a neutral for this to function, for it to work. The black wire is your line in, your power, and the red wire is your line out, your power out to your device to work. The reason you need a neutral wire is this is not just a manual mechanical switch that receives power and sends power. This is a smart device and it requires power. So without a neutral, it won't power on. That's why you need a neutral wire for most of these switches that are smart home switches and need to be connected that way. So you have to have live power, both neutral and your live power wire, and you need a ground, and then this is your power out to the rest of your lights or whatever this is going to be controlling. First thing you want to do is find the breaker for whatever you're working on and make sure you turn your power off. For me, it's this third one here. Went through a few of them, had one of the kids staring at the light while I was flipping the breakers and figured out that it's that one. And now I've got a really dark garage, so I need a flashlight to work in. So this is the switch we're working with. I went ahead and pulled it out. We've got wires coming in and wires going out. Now this bottom one here is the hot line that comes in, and this one here is the power that goes out to the lights. We're going to undo both of those. And then inside there, you can see we do have the white wires, which are our neutral. We do have ground back there. And that should be all we need to get this wired up. Now, if you open up your box and you don't have a neutral wire, you won't be able to use this exact smart switch. You'll be able to use one that does not require a neutral wire. So when you're buying them, make sure you keep that in mind. Either check your box beforehand and make sure you have a neutral. And if you don't, then buy one without a requirement for a neutral wire. This one requires it. So we're going to go ahead and get some of these wires pulled out. I'm going to use some pliers to gently pull on them, bring them out so that we can work on them. It was a little bit tight in there, so I went ahead and undid this switch as well. I'm going to leave all the wires on there and not take anything off, but I just wanted to get it out of the way so that I have more room to work with in there. So that's my ground right there coming in, and as you can tell, none of these other three switches are connected to it. It's just spliced together to come in and then go back out. Same with the neutral. They're all put together, but none of these three switches that are here are using a neutral wire. But we're going to use both of those for our new switch, our smart switch. So we'll get going on that. All right, we've got our old switch off. This is the line out that goes to the light. This is the line in with the power that should be live once we put our breaker back on. So the line out, this bottom one, is going to go to our red wire, and the line in is going to go to our black wire. And then our white wire is going to connect to our neutral, which is that guy there. And our yellow-green wire is going to connect to ground, which is that one right there. I've got all four wires connected. Yellow and green going to ground, white going to neutral, the black going to my live line, my power, and then the red going to the lights, the output. So I'm going to turn the breaker back on, make sure it functions just manually. And if it does, then we've got all our power connections correct, and then I'll put all this back together and we'll go inside and set up the app and everything. Breaker's on, lights are off. We're gonna hit the switch and the lights are on. So we've got the wiring correct. Now we're gonna go put everything back together and then install the app and configure everything. Got all three switches firmly mounted back, pushed all the wires back in there. Make sure you take a look in there with a flashlight and make sure none of the wire end caps have come off or anything like that. Everything's still securely in place. Turn your breaker on one more time. Make sure that you've got your flashing light right there and that you've got lights that work. Yep, the lights work. Everything installed back the way it should be. I gotta clean up that tape residue. I'll do that later. You can see the flashing light there. I'm gonna go grab the instructions and we'll walk through how to install the app and configure this thing. Almost forgot. It actually comes with its own wall plate, the screwless ones, where you don't see any of the screw holes. Nice flush fit. I can't use that because I've got a 3-gang plate over there, but for the other spots, I think I will be able to use the wall plates, and I'm looking forward to them without the screw holes showing. So we've got the app downloaded, and here's the first screen that comes up. We're going to add the device. Before you add the device, make sure that the light's blinking rapidly on your switch. So let's go ahead and hit Add Device. You're going to select the type of device it is from all the different ones that GoSund has. The top right switch is the one we're going to select. I'm going to put in my password for the wireless network we're going to be connecting to. The switch connects over Wi-Fi. If you have not in the past, if you have installed this somewhere else and you need to reinstall it somewhere, you're going to need to reset it. This is the first time we're installing it, so it's already blinking rapidly. We're going to hit the confirm indicator down at the bottom and hit next. And now it's going to go through, find the device, and add it to our network. Looks like the light stopped blinking, and it's going through the setup. All right, added successfully. Let's hit done. And now it shows up. Here's the picture of the switch. If we go back, that's probably where all of our different devices are going to show up. So as I add more of them, they'll show up here. Let's select the switch. And if I tap on it, it turns on. And now the indicator on my physical switch is on as well. Tap on it again, turns off. Now the indicator on my physical switch is off. So that way you know whether the light is on or off as well, even just by looking at the physical switch. So now that we've got that set up, click on the edit icon on the top right, and you can see here you've got options to add it to Alexa, Google, and then some other things there as well. IFTTT that a lot of people use. We're going to add it to our Google Assistant. All right, we're going to go ahead and link with our Google Assistant. We're going to agree and link. We're going to select that one there. Add. This is in the garage, so we're going to add it to garage. Actually, you know what? These are the lights on the driveway. So I'm going to create a new one, add a custom room, and we're going to type in driveway. Hit continue. Smart device added. So we're going to click on done. And our smart device is there. So now let's give it a shot. I'm going to ask Google to turn the driveway lights on. I've got one of the Google Home speakers here in my toolbox. Let's give it a shot. Hey Google, turn driveway lights on.
Sure, turning on driveway lights.
Yep, the lights work. Hey Google, turn driveway lights off.
Sure, turning off driveway lights.
Awesome, so it works. All right, we're gonna install a second one. There we go, I got the old light switch off. I do have a neutral wire here, thank goodness. That's the power wire, that's the wire to the lights, and that's my ground wire. And this one is for our lantern that sits in the lawn. We've got to have this on like all the other neighbors. You see them across the neighborhood. We've got to have it on dusk till dawn. So it's going to be nice to be able to automate this instead of the old manual timer that we've got to keep changing as the time zones change and sunset, sunrise changes. All right, we got it wired up. Let's test it. Lights flashing. Our wiring is good. Our lantern is off. Let's push the button. And boom, our lantern's on. So the wiring works. Let's put it back together. So I'm going to gently push all these wires back in there. This one's a 1-gang wall plate, so we don't have a ton of room back there. We want to gently bend and push all of them back in there. Then we'll use the screws that came with this to put the top and bottom screws in, mount it into the box in the wall, and then we'll work on the faceplate. Since this one's a single gang, I'm going to use the wall plate that came with it. It doesn't have any screw holes at the top or bottom. It has the logo there, the Go Sun, but I like it. It looks nice and clean. And if you look at the back, it just has clips on the top and on the bottom, just clips on. So I'm going to clip the top on and clip the bottom on. Clipped right in, nice and flush. Looks really good. And no screw holes. Looks perfect. All right, now we're going to go through and set it up, add it to our app, just like the other one, and then add it to our Google Home. So we've got this one added. You see the driveway lights at the bottom. They're off. I can turn them on, or I can turn them off. And this one's a lantern. Right now it's on. I went ahead and named it Lantern. That one we have to have on for neighborhood from sunset till sunup. And I'm going to set an automation rule for it to come on 5 minutes before sunset and to turn off maybe 15 minutes before sunrise. So second icon at the bottom from the left, we'll click there. Click on the plus sign there at the top. We'll select when weather changes, sunset, sunrise, and I'm going to create a rule for sunset first for it to come on. And we're going to do 5 minutes before sunset. Save, hit next, and we're going to select run the device. We're going to select lantern, switch 1, and we're going to select on, and hit save, and hit next. And that's the rule we created. You can add other devices in here if you want them all part of the same rule set. I'm going to leave it at that. Hit save. Automation created. Start using it. Yes. We'll click yes. And we'll create one more rule. Hit the plus sign when weather changes. And we're going to click on sunset, sunrise. And this time we're going to click on sunrise. And we're going to do 15 minutes before sunrise. Hit save. Click next. And we're going to do run the device. Oops. Lantern. Switch 1. And this time we're going to select off. We want it to turn off before sunrise. Hit save. Hit next. And hit save. Start using it. Yes. And that's it. And then my driveway lights, I wanted them to come on a little bit after sunset and turn off before sunrise. So I went ahead and left those rules in place as well. You can set as many rules as you want, and let me hit the plus sign here. You can have them conditioned to either time, if you hit the schedule button. The weather change one is the one I use, and then the other ones are some other options as well. So right now we've got 2 in here. I'm going to add one more switch for our column lights that sit in front of the house and point up at the columns in the front of the house. And then I'll set some automation rules for that one as well. I think I'm just going to add that one to the same rule set that I set for the lantern that's in the grass in the front of the house. That way I don't have to create additional rules and they come on at the same time and turn off at the same time. Hope you found this useful. I'm going to put links for these switches in the description below as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm always happy to help with any questions best that I can. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to click like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I will be uploading more videos that show additional home automation devices and how to automate some of these to come on at certain times, etc., or with certain actions. And that way you'll be able to see those videos as well if you do hit subscribe. And make sure to share this video with others that you think might like it as well. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.